All right, so we are live. I apologize for the technical difficulties earlier here, but I am excited to not just kick off our 4-week gut protocol group.
Your shoulder shouldn't hurt because people throw 100 pitches, 300.
Make sure you're muted. I think I got it. Sorry. Okay, we'll just mute everyone. If you have a question, feel free to unmute or drop it in the chat. Megan, I cannot mute you. There we go. All muted. So if you have a question, just drop it in the chat or just get the background noise. But I'm excited for this for so many reasons. Right before we got started, before the recording started, I was sharing how, I kind of did a little bit of a trial run last week and it was doing good. And then I went away and visited a girlfriend and, I made good choices. Like, we went out to breakfast one day and I got 2 poached eggs with shaved Brussels and this lemon dressing. Like I made some good choices, but then, I had a donut and I had the fresh baked cookies at the hotel on Saturday night before my mom's marathon. So I definitely still allowed myself those typical things. And honestly, that's usually how I roll. That is typically how I eat and how I have made this whole thing a lifestyle for myself. I have been someone who can really walk that line of moderation and I can do really healthy meals and stay active, and fitness isn't a problem for me. But then at the same time, I eat a cookie after lunch and dinner. Like my sister and I were walking around the city yesterday because my mom was running her marathon, which is incredible. And I was like, I need a fresh baked cookie. Like that's all that I wanted. Like that is me. I've always been a cookie monster. And I enjoy moderation. Like I love that what I've been able to do through these last 8 years with Beachbody has never been a diet. It's never been something that I felt restricted on. That's why I love To Be Mindset so much, because I love the guidelines of it. But at the same time, my gut's a mess. Like I'll be honest, my mom and sister will tell you I had horrible gas Saturday night. Horrible, like horrible. And I said to them, I'm like, that's because I didn't eat well. Like it is a direct reflection. And this is something that my husband and kids have dealt with for a really long time. And generally I can hide it fine when I'm out with friends, but when I'm behind, the 4 walls of my home or 4 walls of a hotel room with my mom and my sister, I don't have to hide it anymore. And it's uncomfortable and it's bad. And my digestion is out of whack. And while I do eat clean and eat healthy and exercise, I know that, it's like kind of like the more videos I've listened to about gut health, I feel like it's years of abuse, so to speak, of whether it's toxins, whether it's just not clearing it out properly, regularly. I've always had digestion issues throughout my life, but I feel like it's kind of like they've all built up over time. And this program is something that I genuinely feel like I need. So starting this, I don't feel like I can't have the cookies that I can smell right now because my daughter just finished baking a beautiful cookie cake. I don't feel like I'm deprived because I can't have them. I don't want it right now because right now my focus is eating the foods that are going to help me heal my gut so that I can feel better in the long run. So kind of leads into the first thing I want to share with you guys is starting with why. Why are you doing this? It cannot be because I want to lose a couple pounds. It cannot be because any just aesthetic reason. Like you will lose weight with this, most likely. If you follow it, you're going to lose weight. But more than that, you're going to gain so many other things and benefits that are what is allowing this to become, a lifestyle. The same way I made Portion Fix a lifestyle 8 years ago, and the same way I adapted that to Be Mindset into a lifestyle back in 2018. Like I continue to adjust as new things come out and new things fit my life. And I feel like this is going to be that thing that my goal at the end for me is that I don't feel deprived when I'm not eating the glutinous, dairy-filled items because I know that I feel better without them. And that's really what I think I'm going to experience. The problem is I've never been able to consistently go without those things because I'm always taking the bite of the mac and cheese that's sitting on the stove and finishing off the crackers that are there, or, getting something for my kids and then go ahead and have one, or just feeling like I deserve it. So why not? And I love food and I love good food, but I don't love the way I feel when I don't eat in a way that makes my gut feel its best. So whether it's pain, whether it's gas, whether it's just proving that you can complete a challenge, energy to play with your kids, just wanting to be better, faster, stronger as an athlete, whatever it is, know why you're doing this and write it down and put it somewhere where you can actually look at it and see it daily, because today's exciting. And if you're starting today, or maybe you're starting next Monday and you have that initial drive, it's like, woohoo, like I got this. This is great. This is fun. But then in time, after the first week wears off of excitement, week 2 gets a little bit harder. And now it's like, okay, well, I ate all these foods last week and now I'm eating them this week. And, you can maybe get into a routine, but you can also get into like a monotonous, boring, I don't want to say boring, but you might get bored with what you're doing. So know why you're doing this. And I know for me, I want to know how good my body can feel. I want to know what it is going to feel like when I'm not struggling with gas and bloating nearly every single night before I go to bed. When I wake up in the morning and I feel good, I want that same feeling 12 hours later or 15 hours later when I go to bed. So that's kind of what's on my mind. If you guys want to share what you're kind of sweating for, what you're working for, please feel free to drop it in the comments. But I really would like you to put that somewhere where you can see it so that when the initial excitement wears off, you know what you're doing this for on a personal level. Make sure you're getting out the most out of the group. I feel like everyone who's here on this call is also within our Gutsy launch party group that I have created, but make sure that you're leveraging it. I was talking to someone who she's like, I just fell off the wagon again, but she's not using the group. She's not checking in with the group. And I know that it can seem so simple. It can seem so, well, what's one little Facebook check-in gonna really do? But I can tell you that I've been doing them every day for 8 years. And I genuinely believe that that act of holding myself accountable to the group of people, whoever's going to see it that day, it doesn't matter. It's for me. That I check in at the end of every day to share my day, whether it's good, bad, and ugly, somewhere in between. And that's what keeps me going. And that's what's kept me consistent all these years. So if you haven't yet, put an alert on or a alarm or alert reminder on your phone to check into the group. I have the evening posts all set to go up around 7 p.m. in the evening. So that's where you'll be able to get like the, share your day. How did it go? What were your wins? I shared today in the group just my own plant points. I was curious, how many plant points did I get on day 1? And then just to make sure, as I move out throughout the week, how that's going to look and to ensure I get my 30 plant points. So make sure you're checking in every day. Keep sharing your scale and non-scale wins. You might notice that you've lost a pound or 2. You might notice that you go to bed and you don't feel bloated for the first time, or you don't have gas like you usually do. Take note of those things, track those things. That's why we have a tracker. I know I shared this with you guys earlier, but I actually printed it all and bound it at Staples because I wanted something that I could hold, something that I could write in, something that I could track so that I know how I am doing throughout the day. Every day won't be perfect, and I actually don't even intend to be perfect every single day. I wasn't thinking when I planned pasta for tonight that I had oatmeal and sweet potatoes already, and I was like, well, shoot, technically I already had my yellows, but then I was like, well, wait, is red lentil pasta a yellow or a red? It's just red lentil. Like some of these things I'm a little confused on, to be honest. And I have asked the question about the red lentil pasta, if it's considered a red or a yellow. Is it a carb? Is it a protein? But in my mind, I just ate it. That's what I cooked. I ate approved foods. It wasn't picture perfect. I did use my containers. I measured them as I went. But no, it wasn't 100% perfect today. And that's okay, because every day is a learning opportunity. So do your best, absolutely. And do what you can to make sure that you are holding yourself accountable to the plan, wherever calorie bracket you fit into. But if it's not perfect and you have a little blip, that's okay. Just do better the next day. Like shoot for progress over perfection. I did share, I took pictures of my food all day today, and I feel like that helped. I was like, well, if I'm going to share with you guys what I'm eating, I'm going to make sure it's all measured. I'm going to make sure that this is actually 1 yellow of a sweet potato. And it made me measure everything, because I was like, well, I want to make sure that I'm taking these pictures so that when I show you guys what I'm eating, it's a legit representation of an example of what you could do too. So I did measure everything, but knowing that I was going to be sharing it with you guys, taking those pictures of each meal throughout the day, it held me accountable. So if that's helpful to you, share it. Hopefully by sharing, the more people that share pictures in the group, the more ideas we're going to get from each other. Even if it's the same thing every day. Maybe I probably will have oatmeal with some fruit in the morning and eggs with a vegetable and some potato most days for lunch. And my shake I was planning to have with breakfast, and then I was full after the oatmeal, so I pushed it into as just a snack in the afternoon. And then I had my dinner. So just keep that in mind, that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all the answers figured out. Just try your best. And the more that you share and the more that you leverage from other people and the more that you learn, the more that the better you're going to do throughout the program too. So that last thing here, just scroll the feed and give some love to other people. That's where the accountability, the community, the support really come into play. And, I make it a goal every day to go in, whether it's at the end of the day today or first thing tomorrow morning, depending on what time I go to bed. I try to go in and check in with all of you to see how your day was, to give you feedback where I can, to encourage you where I can, but do that for other people. Even if you just try to encourage one other person in the group each day, it'll go a long way. Here are the resources for the group. My mom just texted me. She's like, can you direct me to the call? She'll have to wait. So here's where you can find everything within the BOD app. You can see programs and you'll see the 4-week gut protocol. Hopefully you've now found these videos and started to look through all of these videos. They're pretty short. There were some additional materials added. I had shared that within the group that the meal plan examples were there. And Autumn shared that earlier today on one of our other calls where she said, those meal plans are there simply to be a guide for you. So let it spark your ideas, but really choose the foods from the food list that are ones you like, that you want to try, that you want to eat. Make this as simple on yourself as you can. The Gutsy Lunch Party is the name of our group. These are all the people who will be doing the group with us. I do have some things under the feature. Oh, you know what? When I made these slides, I switched them up. What did I do here? Anyways, this, where I have tracking your progress, that's actually the post that I put under featured. These are like just showing you some of the things I put under the featured to let you guys know. And then this was an old image. I wanted to let you know on tracking. So you can see it over here under program materials. This last tab here has tracking. That allows you to track your containers. So if you don't want to use a paper one and you want to use a digital one, that's what this picture was supposed to be. And clearly, as I was doing this, I mixed them all up. But this tracking tab right down here, it allows you to track your container. So if it's easier for you to track it on the app as you go and mark down what you have to follow along throughout the day, that'll allow you to see kind of where you are within your allotted calorie bracket. And then just some meal planning tips. Keep it simple. Like I said, use those meal plan examples as just that. They're examples. They're there to give you ideas. If you notice the ones that Autumn created, each bracket has a 3-day meal plan, and she shows how to include, different breakdowns. Figure out what works for you. If you like to eat bigger meals in the morning and kind of taper down as the day goes on, great. It's kind of like 2B mindset, right? She goes a little heavier in the morning with your, more yellows in the morning, more purples and yellows. And then by the time you get to the end of the day, it's really reds and greens. It's really your vegetables and your proteins. If you like to have a carb with dinner, then eat a carb with dinner. Like, don't feel that you have to do it one certain way. This is, again, yes, you will likely lose weight. You can lose weight. More than anything, it's eating foods in a way that are going to help you heal your gut. And I didn't put this on here, but the supplements, if it's helpful, set an alarm on your phone for that too. I think I took my morning supplement before breakfast, like 20 minutes before breakfast. I took it before lunch and got into meal prepping, and it was like an hour and a half before I actually ate lunch from the time I took them. And then it was like 40 minutes before dinner. They're supposed to be 30 minutes before you eat each meal. Do your best. Again, do your best. Doesn't matter if it's absolutely perfect. Print out the food list. Again, that's why I feel like having this little binded copy is super helpful, because when I am making my meal plan, it's helpful to kind of have this to refer to, or even if I'm just like, oh, wait, what does this fall into? What bracket is this? Print out your meal plan. And, to some, meal plan sounds like a little bit intimidating. And, there's really 2 ways to look at meal plan. You can design what you're going to eat every single day. Breakfast is this, lunch is this. Kim shared awesome meal prep that she did for the week. You can see she has all of her meals packaged in containers, ready to go. There's no question about it. But some people are like, well, I don't know if on Sunday I want to eat that Wednesday. And to them, that's like overwhelming and intimidating. And if that's you, then just bulk cook some foods. Know what you like, right? Like, I have zucchini, squash, and onions that I'm going to just like put on a sheet pan tomorrow. Today I made just baked some sweet potatoes because I wanted to have one with my lunch. So I just poked them, put them in the oven. As simple as that. I didn't do anything else fancy with them. Buy the food you like, and then you can put them together. Maybe that sweet potato will be with my eggs tomorrow. Maybe it'll be with dinner. Like, I'll have them cooked so I can put together my meals, but don't necessarily have them all in a container designed for every day's lunch. So try both, figure out which one works for you. But the point is to make it a plan that you will then actually complete. So whichever way works for you. Having things chopped and ready. For example, when I did my broccoli, I broke it in half and I roasted half of it. And then the rest of it, I just clean, cut up and put into a Ziploc bag in the fridge. It's ready to cook later. But I didn't cook it yet. I'll probably air fry that one. But when I'm in that mode, like today, my kitchen was like a total whirlwind because I was prepping and cooking and chopping and cleaning, but now it's all done and prepped in the fridge. So as I go throughout this week, for the most part, all my stuff's cooked. It's just warming it up, putting it together. And if you have an air fryer, I have found reheating your like prepped veggies or prepped meats in the air fryer, it only takes a couple minutes, and to me, it tastes a lot better than just warming up in a microwave. So just another option for you. And like here, if you don't like the vegetable fruit that's on, the meal plan examples that are shared, just swap it out for something else within that same category. So keeping it simple. Again, week one, whether you're starting today or next Monday, it's going to be a learning experience. You're going to see, oh my gosh, I was starving, or oh my gosh, I was so full. Like for me today, I didn't have my shake with breakfast because I was full, and I didn't force it down because I felt like I had to, because I wrote it on a meal plan, right? Like I made it later. So plan out your day, have the plan, and then just be flexible in how you approach it. Get non-planned foods out of the house, out of sight. That's one of Alana's to be principles: out of sight, out of mind. And that's like one of the reasons why I pushed off starting this from our March 15th launch date, was I wanted to get rid of things that didn't fall into plan. Not that they were even all unhealthy things, they just weren't part of this. So I just wanted to eat them, consume them, so I didn't waste them, but get them out. Again, keeping sliced veggies on hand if you need to snack while you're eating dinner. It's a super common time when it's like not quite dinner time, but you're trying to get things ready, and maybe you historically would have grabbed like a handful of potato chips or some chocolate or whatever it might be. Have carrots, slice up a red pepper, or whatever is, keep those in the hand. So if you are someone who needs to be kind of busy while you're doing those things, you have those options. Drink plenty of water. That's always part, no matter what nutrition program we're following. I have like several of these Yetis. When I go to bed at night, I fill it up to the top. I go to bed. When I wake up in the morning, this is the first thing I drink in the morning. And then I know I'm getting a good 20 ounces of water in before I even start my day. Then I have my Energize, and then I go do my workout and kind of go on with it. But I know that I start with that, but I start with it because I go to bed with it the night before. Super easy way to get that water intake up first thing in the morning. As you are going along, if you're hungry, eat more. You're not supposed to be starving here. And your body might be adjusting from food you see. I will be honest, I have a headache today because I usually drink like 3 Energizes in a day, which maybe that's bad, but I can't do that anymore. So I still had my Energize this morning. I did not totally skip on caffeine, but I have a headache, and it's a little annoying, but I'm like, that's part of the process. I'm not going to stress over it. I feel like I'm probably not going to be the only person who has a headache on week 1, 2, or day 1, 2, or 3. But I know that it's because my body's not used to the lower caffeine and also lower sugar. That was a really big one for me. This whole 10 grams of added sugar has me reading labels like a boss, and also realizing just how much added sugar I typically consumed in a day. So that's my biggest change. It's not necessarily the foods themselves. It's the fact that I'm not having as much caffeine and I'm not having as much sugar, which hopefully those things help me feel better with my gut. And lastly, let your family know what you're doing. We told the kids at dinner tonight that me and my husband and I both, we started today a 4-week plan that doesn't include, and we left it with gluten and dairy just because those are the main things. But we told them that we will be following a plan designed to help us feel our best, that we can heal our insides. They're a little older, so I feel like they kind of understand what we're talking about. They're not clueless to mom and dad eating healthy. But I let them know. And we will be going away for Easter. We'll be going to my husband's family in Texas, and I'll let my mother-in-law know, like, we're going to need some specific things for Easter dinner, because we're not going to be eating the typical like ham and scalloped potatoes and whatever else is there, which is all delicious and amazing, but it's worth it to me to give up a weekend of foods that I already know how they taste and that I won't be missing in the long run when I feel so good at the end. Scrolling down, just a reminder to drink your Shakeology daily for a few reasons. It helps with your gut biodiversity because of all the things that are within Shakeology. It genuinely does help you heal your gut. So it does have the pre and probiotics. It has digestive enzymes, which I know we have additional supplements. And obviously those supplements are a huge part to the program. But if by chance you didn't get the program before those supplements sold out, know that you are getting some of that within the Shakeology all in of itself. And then also it of course helps reduce sweet cravings. Last week I kept having mine as the brownie bowl. Like I just did a little bit of the almond milk with a scoop of Shakeology and mix it up. I know at least 2 of the days I added some almond butter. I just bought like the natural Kirkland's Costco run almond butter, and it was so good. I had used to have that all the time, and then I stopped having it. So maybe you want the shake, maybe it's your breakfast in the morning, but if you need something to reduce your, sweet tooth craving, or maybe you like to have something sweet after dinner, that's another option to kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone, get your shake in and help reduce those cravings. And that is the information I have for you guys. So I want to allow an opportunity to ask questions if you have them. Carly, you got a headache too as well. Shannon, I saw your message that my mom was having trouble finding it on Facebook. She texted me, but I didn't want to. I felt like by the time I would have got back to her, that would have been about over. I'll share the recording with her. But if you have questions, by all means, ask them. Know that the group, know that the group is there to help work through this. It'll be way more fun for all of us. It'll be way more successful for all of us if we leverage the group, if we ask questions as we have them, if we share our meal prep and our planning and concerns and questions as we go, and really just celebrate the whole process together. So I'm really excited. I feel like day 1 is done. It wasn't totally perfect, but it's done. And I am like excited about how good I'm going to feel when these 4 weeks are over. Does anyone have any other questions? We'll end it there. I'll put this recording in the group. If you have any other questions or anything that comes up, or if you have anybody doing this with you, make sure you can tag them in it so they can do it. Jennifer, you're going to start over tomorrow. Good deal. And just know that like there's going to be people starting at all different points. Like some people, like I know Kim's kind of like slow start now, and then she'll go all in next week after a weekend away. Like just start when it works for you. Start when it makes sense for you. All right. Well, I will share the recording. Have a wonderful night, everyone, and I will talk to you soon.